Hello children, today we are discussing the same chapter 4 in the earlier cities, third part. In search of raw materials. Raw materials are substances that are either found naturally, such as wood or ores of metals, or produced by farmers or herders. These are then processed to produce finished products. So, raw materials means the products, the substances which are found naturally, with which finished products are made. Okay, for example, cotton is a raw material. Cotton produced by farmers is a raw material that may be processed to make cloth, while some of the raw materials that the Harappans used were available locally. Many items such as copper, tin, gold, silver and precious stones had to be brought from distant places. The Harappans probably got copper from present-day Rajasthan and even from Oman. They brought copper from Rajasthan and Oman, maybe. Okay, let's go to the next page. 1 second. Okay. Now, West Asia. Tin which was mixed with copper to produce bronze may have been brought from present-day Afghanistan and Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present-day Karnataka and precious stones from present-day Gujarat, Iran and Afghanistan. So, different places are important for some metals are shown here, and the archaeologists, otherwise historians, are saying that these products may be brought from the distant places for construction and for making different materials. Okay, so one picture is given here. What is this? Illustration of wheeled vehicles in earlier lessons. So one vehicle which includes two wheels, that's shown here. Now let's move to the next paragraph. Food for people in the cities. While many people lived in the cities, others living in the countryside grew crops and reared animals. These farmers and herders supplied food to craft persons, scribes and rulers in the cities. We know from remains of plants that the Harappans grew wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed and mustard. So there were farmers, so many people were farmers, and the farmers supplied food to craft persons, scribes, rulers and other persons in the city. And these crops were grown by the people of Harappa. A new tool, the plow, was a plow का picture दिया है इधर. This is the picture of a play tool. Okay, a play plow. Okay, this is a toy only. Was used. A plow was used to dig the earth for turning the soil and planting seeds. For this, a plow was used in early days for plowing the field and for planting seeds in the soil. While real plows, which were probably made of wood, have not survived. Toy models have been found. Okay, so that one I showed. As this region does not receive heavy rainfall, some forms of irrigation may have been used. This means that water was stored and supplied to the fields when the plants were growing. So this region was not received heavy rainfall. They didn't receive heavy rainfall, but they used different methods of irrigation facilities where they used different types of irrigation facilities for growing crops. The Harappans reared cattle, sheep, goat, and buffalo. Water and pastures were available around settlements. Pastures means the grass and plants needed for the cattle and sheep, all these animals. Okay. However, in the dry summer months, large herds of animals were probably taken to greater distances in search of grass and water. During summer, what happens? All these plants and grasses will dry up, and what happens? There will not be any pasture for the animals. So what they do? These animals were probably taken taken to greater distances, बहुत दूर ले जाते थे, in search of grass and water. They also collected fruits like bear, caught fish, and hunted wild animals like the antelope जैसे wild animals को hunt करते थे, and they caught fish also, and bear जैसे fruits also collected. Okay. Now we are moving to the next heading, a closer look. Harappan towns in Gujarat. The city of Dholavira was in Gujarat. Okay, the city of Dholavira was located on Khadir Bet, also spelled as B-E-T Bet. Both are correct. In the Rann of Kutch, where there was fresh water and fertile soil. So we learned that the early human beings stayed at places where water was available in plenty, and also where there fertile soil for growing crops. Okay. Unlike some of the other Harappan cities, which were divided into two parts, Dholavira was divided into three parts. So we learned in the earlier paragraphs that the cities were divided to two. Okay, citadel and lower town, all these things. So this Dholavira city was, but this city was divided into three parts, and each part was surrounded with massive stone walls. Dholavira was divided into three parts, and the three parts were separated by massive, means very big, very high stone walls. Okay, with entrance through gateways. So only one gateway will be there, and the entrance were restricted only through the gateways. They can the other people from outside can only go inside, enter the city only through the gateways. There was also a large open area in the settlement where public ceremonies could be held. Large ground जैसे, so उधर क्या होता है, settlements was the and ceremonies or meetings रखने के लिए. Other finds include large letters of the Harappan script that were carved out of white stone and perhaps inlaid in wood. So white stone was used to write something, inscribe something on that. This is a unique find, as generally Harappan writings has been found on small objects such as seal. So in Dholavira, the Harappans wrote, the people of Harappa, that they wrote in, otherwise inscribed on the carved something, scripts on the white stone. That is an important thing about them. The city of Lothal stood beside a tributary of the Sabarmati in Gujarat. Near the Sabarmati ashram, Sabarmati in Gujarat, and tributary of Sabarmati river. Okay, so the city of Lothal stood beside, near the Sabarmati river in Gujarat, close to the Gulf of Kambat. It was situated near areas where raw materials such as semi-precious stones were easily available. This was an important center for making objects out of stone, shell and metal. There was also a stone house in the city. Many seals and sealings, the impression of seals on clay, that is called sealings, the impression of seals on clay were found in this storehouse. So all these about Lothal, the city of Lothal, and one beautiful pond. The picture of one beautiful dockyard at Lothal is given here. Huge tank. There's a huge tank. Maybe may have been a dockyard where boats and ships came in from the sea and through the river channel. Goods were probably loaded and unloaded here. And dockyard means a place where ships are made also. Okay, and it is said that ships came and went from here and uploaded and downloaded things. Okay. So 1-2 paragraphs are also there to complete this chapter. A building that was found here was probably a workshop for making beads, pieces of stone, half-made beads, tools for bead making and finished beads have all been found here in Lothal. All the beads and other materials, other ornaments were also made by the people. The mystery of the end means around 3,900 years ago, we find the beginning of a major change. People stopped living in many of the cities. So what happened around 3,900 years ago? So people stopped living in many of the cities. Writing seals and weights were no longer used. Raw materials brought from long distances became rare. In Mohenjo-daro, we find that garbage piled up on the streets. The drainage system broke down and new, less impressive houses were built, even over the streets. So what happened? Something happened in the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro cities around 3,900 years ago. People living in the cities were stopped and the drainage was disturbed and so many things happened. And different types of houses were made by the people. Seals were not at all used. So why did all this happen? We are not sure. Some scholars suggest that the rivers dried up. Maybe because the rivers are not, the rivers dried up and water is not available. People will not live there. Okay, maybe because this may be one reason. Others suggest that the word deforestation. Deforestation means all the trees may be cut down by the people for to do crops, to grow crops. Okay, maybe because of that. And this could have happened because fuel was required for baking bricks and for smelting copper ores. So maybe they went for this in search of fuel. Besides, grazing by large herds of cattle, sheep and goat may have destroyed the green cover. Maybe all the greeneries, all the grasses were being destroyed by the grazing of the animals. In some areas there were floods. Some places, remember the places were near the rivers, and it may be happen, in some areas there were floods. वो भी हो सकता है flood की वजह से गए होंगे सारे. But none of these reasons can explain the end of all the cities. Flooding or a river drying up would have had an effect in only some areas. So what happened? This is even now this is a mystery. What happened to the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro? Now we are moving to the last paragraph. That is, it appears as if the rulers lost control. In any case, the effects of the change are quite clear. Sites in Sindh and West Punjab, present-day Pakistan, were abandoned, while many people moved into newer, smaller settlements to the east and the south. New cities emerged about 1,400 years later. You will read about them in chapter 6 and 9. Okay, so children, read this chapter 2-3 times carefully. It's an interesting chapter, like a story, but you have to read this and underline all the important points. Then only you can understand this chapter clearly. So I have divided this chapter into 3 parts and sent 3 videos. So watch all the videos 2-3 times carefully and learn. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.